Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Sim Patreon Dynasty. We are in the off-season coaching changes. Nobody changed coaches. We all decided to stay. I got offered Kansas. I think Opie got offered Purdue. And then everybody else was like coordinator positions. And they just wanted to stay anyways, man. Wanted to build up the teams that they were. So we're on players leaving for people that are interested in that. And for the majority of us, just a lot of people graduating. We lost quite a bit of people, man. We're looking at the overall left tackle, right tackle, offense. We lost our best offensive lineman, our quarterback, our best receiver, our best running back, our best linebacker. We're just, ouch. Army ends up just losing people to graduation as well. Nothing else there. Everybody's graduating. Charlotte, same thing, graduation. Except for a couple of these guys down at the bottom. They are requesting the transfer. I don't know if he got them to stay or not. The only one I'd be really worried about is Washington, 74 overall. The other two guys could go on, even though they are trying to transfer to my conference, so maybe not. UConn had everybody graduate. ECU potentially losing Zay Jones unless he gets him to stay. No, he's going pro. He's a senior. Never mind. He's going pro. So far, the only one that has anybody going pro. And then he's having a couple of dudes that want to transfer to Georgia Southern. Rice has everybody graduating. And Wyoming has everybody graduating except for the running back, who has been injured almost all year long. So I don't know. I would assume he got him to come back. An 88 overall halfback. I would do everything I could to get him to come back as well. But we're going to advance it to the next stage. We're looking to get to the recruiting stage. We're going to skip transfers because typically that's going to be, it automatically accepts all the transfers. And I told everybody that. It's like by default, you accept them. You can cut them later. It's just help skip a stage. So on to the recruiting. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we are into the recruiting stage. I'm going to show you my board real quick, and then we're going to advance it and look at everybody's signings and recruits that they got on signing day. So right off the bat, I'm only putting 4,000 on this wide receiver. I would love to have him, but I would much rather have this tackle, and I'm behind. I don't want to dedicate all my points to this dude, but I'm going to dedicate quite a bit, and hopefully we can sneak out on him. Then I put 150 on a couple of these other guys, and 500 on some more just to try to get them. Outside linebacker, I would prefer to have 73 overall, but it is what it is. I'm not going real hard for this athlete because I don't know what he would be. I mean, he would make a pretty good quarterback, set 83 power, 82 accuracy, and 81 speed, but other than that, not really much else because he's too slow to be a running back, too slow to be a receiver in my opinion, and he's too tall to be a running back, 6'3", but I don't know what else to do, so I'm not pushing real hard for him. We just got into signing day, and I didn't get the kicker or the corner, which is fine, whatever. I didn't get the guard. He went to Purdue. That's just fine. I didn't put a whole lot of points on him, so get the heck off my board. I did get this corner, though. I'm happy with him. He'll sit maybe and play after a couple of years. I got the wide receiver I wanted to beat San Diego State by 2,000. I got the tackle I wanted to beat Memphis by 3,000, so they didn't put hardly any points on him. I lost a strong safety pretty handily, but that's all right. I only put 150 points on him. I did get the outside linebacker, which is the other one I wanted, and I definitely lost the athlete. Looks like Rice went all in. Golly, put like 1,200 points on him. He definitely wanted this guy. All right, so looking at the classes now, we are number 9, a top 10 recruiting class in our first year, and win our conference. Didn't win the bowl game, but won our conference. That's a humongous year for us. Checking out the signings, we got a 5-star athlete who's our middle linebacker who's gonna play, a 4-star tight end, wide receiver, athlete, halfback, and wide receiver who will all probably play, and another athlete. So pretty much everybody's gonna get a shot. And then a couple other guys. We improved our defense dramatically. I said dramatically again. I said it last time. I say dramatic, and I want to say drastically, and I combine them. So drastically, we improved our defense drastically, and we helped our offensive line. I think it's the most offensive line I've ever got. Rice ends up coming in at the number 19 slot. You got an athlete, a quarterback, 2 5-star players. Wow. Defensive end, wide receiver, a couple athletes. He definitely improved his defense and his offensive ability throwing the ball. And then he had a weird situation where something I didn't know. Whenever you accept transfers, it takes away your scholarships. I'd never noticed that. I'm always like, well, skip it. You can cut them later if you don't want them. Well, Rice was like, yo, dude, I went from like 11 or 9 scholarships down to 5. What happened? I was like, I don't know. And Private Leader, who's in here, said it's because you accepted the transfer, it takes away a scholarship. So just so you know, if you accept the transfer, it takes away your scholarship in the offseason. I didn't know that. I've never noticed that before, as long as I played this game. So that's news to me, and hopefully we don't have that happen again. Army comes in at the number 29 slot, got a 5-star athlete. Oh, that's going to help out wide receiver, defensive end, and then a couple of other guys. He said some of these people the game had added to his board and got to commit already, but I'm assuming he did his magic on a couple of these guys. Wyoming comes in at 31 with a nice athlete, Thompson, 5-star right off the bat. He's got a free safety, defensive tackle, wide receiver. I'm wondering if this is the athlete. He was telling us about it. The dude's got crazy good stats, dude. He's like 98 speed, really good man coverage, like really good corner and really good running back. And I'm pretty sure that's who it is. If that's who it was, holy crap, I'm anxious to see what this guy can do this year. Charlotte comes in at number 37. He had a pretty good year. Once again, joined about mid-season, so not all these guys are his, but still a really good class. Yeah, most people aren't going to go after 1-stars unless they're like an 80 overall JUCO or something, but he improved his offensive line, his secondary for sure. ECU ends up coming in at 42. He got a pretty good improvement as well to his defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle, and linebacker, then corner, defensive end. So defense, main priority for ECU this year. Hopefully they'll come in and produce for him next year. UConn comes in at number 71. UConn joined mid-season. He had a pretty decent recruiting class, an athlete, a wide receiver, and a corner. I think this corner he was telling us about in the chat, him, Wyoming, and Rice were all going after, but he ended up sealing the deal on him. The dude's going to be real good as well, based off the stats. So he improved his offensive line and his defensive secondary for sure. Alright, we're into training results now. Going to go through everybody's team to see how much they improved. If they didn't look at it, I'm pretty sure everybody did. But just in case, you never know. Gotta be safe and all that. But it looks like everybody's pretty even, which is cool. Not one team super dominant compared to the others, which is what I like to see. Army looking pretty good. I got a 92 overall punter. But I was talking to Opie about it. A lot of my 80 plus dudes are seniors. I got a lot of seniors this year, as does a lot of people. So we're definitely going to be in a world of hurt. Luckily, I got a couple of good freshmen this year, so definitely looking forward to seeing what they could do. And as I've mentioned before, I do this every year. People I don't want, I'm going to cut, put them at punter. Don't think about it, don't have to worry about it. I know these 6 dudes are gone whenever we get to the next stage. Simple and easy for me to do. That's actually from the Italian. So checking out Charlotte, he's got a pretty good looking team. A couple of safeties and offense. Quarterback, wide receiver, halfback, looking to lead the charge for his top players in this. And this doesn't include the freshmen that are coming in. This is just guys that were here last year. That's all. Which it sucks because I want my freshmen. I know it's not likely that they're going to be able to level up that quick, but I want my freshmen to get involved in this too. Like they're going to come in, they're going to see some like workouts and stuff. Why are they not going to improve too? You know what I mean? I want them to grow. I want them to learn. I want them to become better. ECU looking pretty good. Got a couple of 80s overall. Nice. How? Got a nice, pretty good looking team. A lot of the guys are like, we're gonna have to change our playbooks. I was looking at I don't know if I'm going to be a 4-3 next year or a 3-4 based off my linebackers and defensive tackles. Depends on who I redshirt and who I don't. I know I'm going to redshirt probably almost all of my freshmen unless there's just no other choice. I know one of my offensive line, I don't have a choice. The dude's just too good. He's going to start as a freshman. He'll probably start all 4 years. Nothing really I could do about that because I need somebody in that position. Whereas some of these other guys have a little bit more working. This is the best overall player out of all the users. He'll 93 overall halfback. I think there's only 3, maybe 4 people that had, or 4 people overall in the 90s. Wyoming had him, and then I had him. I don't think Rice had anybody. I could be wrong. I mean, you could just go back and check the video. I'm not going to do it. But that's everybody, man. All the training results are done. We're ready to get the cut players. Next time you'll see me is whenever we go over schedules and off-season stuff or preseason stuff. That's going to be for this part. We'll be right back with the advance. All right, we are in preseason 2014. We're just going to show a little bit of the custom schedules. I'm going to show my depth chart later. I might show my red shirts just because, actually, you know what? We're going to show red shirts. I did red shirt pretty much everybody I could. Walter's a freshman that's coming in just to have him for a couple more years since I got a lot of older guys. Our running back 72 overall since I have one of every class currently. And we're pretty set from here on out, but just to have him later on. Fullbacks because I couldn't cut him. Wouldn't let me. A couple of receivers. We have a lot of youth coming in. I mean, all these guys, either JUCOs that came in or the 2 freshmen that we did get. We're just going to redshirt those guys because everybody else seems pretty solid. At least our top 3 tight end. I can't redshirt this dude. I need 2 tight ends, and he's a really good. 79 overall, and I had that issue with my offensive line across the board. Left guard, a junior that came in. I just can't. I can't afford it. I need him to play. I am going to redshirt this freshman because I have 2 seniors. I couldn't move this center to any other position. He wouldn't have played. So there was really no point in moving him Same thing like this right tackle. I would love to redshirt him and have him for a solid 5 years, but 4-year starter will work just fine. Left ends, just gonna hold on to sophomore a little bit. Right end, couldn't redshirt anybody. Defensive tackles, I got my freshman that I picked up this year, and my other freshman. But this dude's he's gonna be a 4-year starter. That's for dang sure. Especially considering these two guys are gone, so might as well let him sit one year. He'll be all right. Middle linebacker, have to sit this dude just because Locke actually overcame him because of the training, but his awareness is a lot better, like double. So hopefully he'll improve his awareness in the offseason. Or outside linebacker, same thing, just not going to get a play, so there's no point in starting him. Now I would love to have redshirted one of these two guys. I mean, this 80 overall freshman, would love to redshirt him, but I can't afford it. I don't want to be stuck to just 4 corners. So I went ahead and did Kirkpatrick, and hopefully we can get some people coming in the offseason, and then a strong safety. I had to do this one because I needed the senior starting. That's just the way it goes. But taking a look at the custom schedules, I didn't do a whole lot. I tried to give Army all of his rivalries, so Rutgers wasn't on the list. Air Force was already, and I gave him Notre Dame as well. And then, of course, Navy was. But try to give him a lot of his rivalry games because that's going to be good for just your coach in general, XP, stuff like that. And then I tried to, as much as I could, give as many home games at the end of the season, but not just straight all home games because he's independent. Wouldn't be fair for everybody else. And this was my list. I think I actually had Indiana, but I swapped it to Illinois. I just left it. I'm cool with that. I think we can handle it. No FCS teams for us this year, especially since we got beat last year. Charlotte, I gave him Southeast just because that's towards his general area. And Stanford was already on his list, so I left that one. And then Wyoming requested this matchup, so this should be interesting. He's going to have 2 user matchups to sim through, and I'm anxious to see how he does. UConn, he wanted FCS East, Pitt, and Houston, so I also gave him Virginia Tech. Like, it seems about the same area. Seems like a realistic matchup, so we went ahead and gave him that. ECU also requested by Wyoming to play, so week 1, because that was the only other opportunity. 5 and 6 and 12 and 13 were the only other options. He actually had 2 bye weeks here, but he didn't have a lot of home games, so I swapped out a bye week for week 12 and gave him another home game there. Rice, he actually requested SMU, Tulsa, and Houston, even though they're ranked because rivalry games. It makes sense. You want all the rivalry games you can get, so I also gave him Texas State just so he can keep on beating up on me. He also gets Charlotte in conference. And then Wyoming, I gave him Northwest because they gave me a run for my money last year, and he pulled off the win last year, so maybe they'll be good again. Maybe they won't. We'll find out later on this year. But that's custom schedules for everybody. And then we'll go through recruiting later on. Right now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This part in week 1, pretty much a waste of showing anything because that list can go down quick. I got 30 people on my board right now, and after week 1, it'll probably be 12. It happens every year, so there's really no point in showing it. But we're ready to get the season rolling. I'm going to advance it. And that's going to get to the end of this episode. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.